I think the voice is more important. I don't think I'm going to be able to apply for being a cabin crew in any case. So might as well just get on with life.
And I don't think you stand a chance in front of me to look more handsome. I'm kidding.
Yeah, sure. No, we'll leave that. We'll leave that to the women on this call to decide. The men will be all biased, so it's not a good thing to do. So the women can go look at my profile and decide that on their own, and then we'll take it from there. All right. Thanks, Nidhi. Thanks, Nidhi, for speaking to me, and thank you guys, all of you, for joining in. And hopefully, my name is Debraj Chom. We run a chain of clinics called the Aesthetic Clinics in India. We are currently in 6 cities. Our major centers are in Mumbai, whereas we are in Hyderabad, Kolkata, Delhi, Bangalore, and Ahmedabad also. So I, by training, specialize in facial plastic and cosmetic surgery. And my job is to make people more beautiful and presentable. I believe that in general, how you look is what determines how people think about you. So perception in that sense is reality. And when Nidhi suggested that we both could help you look better and therefore achieve your dreams, I thought it would be fantastic to get together and speak to all of you all and make things better. Okay.
Yes, very true. So I'm just going to give a quick review to everyone what we're doing today. So especially when it comes to cabin crew, because I think most of the people who follow me on my channel are cabin crew aspirants or are cabin crew already. And I think for all of us, having good skin and looking good overall, and not just skin on the face, but overall, you know, when it comes to our hair, when it comes to our skin on our body, on our face, everything, it's really, really important to take care of it because our job is all about image. And a lot of us also do not get selected in our interviews sometimes because we have scars or we have acne and we have all these concerns. So today would be the perfect platform to actually raise your concerns. So Dr. Debraj can actually share with us how he can help us and how he's been helping other people.
Just because we like you so much and we like your friends so much, we are going ahead and having a quiz today. So I will, before each segment, before I answer each question, I'm going to ask the audience one question.
Sure.
And fastest fingers first. Whoever answers that question first, we note down the name and the Instagram ID and give away 3 free consultations this particular month, coming month of May.
Okay, sounds good. So your clinic is still open, right? Just to
clinic is still open, yes, because we are essential services, so we can see people.
Okay.
But obviously, people might find it difficult to see us. So we are doing a lot of Skype consultations, but because India is under a prolonged lockdown, it's difficult for people to come in and see us in person. First question coming up now. Everyone ready? Can we see a show of thumbs? Which is the largest organ of the human body? And you have 5 seconds to answer that. Fastest fingers first. 5, 4, largest organ of the human body. 3, 2.
Okay, guys,
1.
could you hear the question? I think they all are just saying yes. Give me a minute. Whether
Pass.
okay,
Largest.
Twinkle Jen said C.
So Ibad Khan goes the first because the earlier one was a doctor, Dr. Jalpa Shah, we can't take. But Ibad Khan was first. We can write that name down. And so Ibad wins the first free consultation for today. Congratulations, Ibad. The skin is the largest organ of the human body. And the skin is which covers the human body from head to toe.
Go on. I'm taking note of the name.
If your skin does not look good, you cannot go ahead and, have anything else look good. So skin is very, very important. So you can stop with the liver and everything else. Ibad won that skin. Sorry, Jalpa, you're a doctor. Now we are going to go ahead and go to the questions from the viewers, and then there'll be 2 other opportunities coming up. Next, Nidhi, you go now. You can ask me what questions people want to know answers to.
I have actually a couple of questions. Maybe I'm going to start with like the most common question that most people ask me, which is that a lot of people have acne on their face, especially on their chin area or cheek area or forehead area, which is a very common concern that most people have. Especially in the age bracket of 20 to 24, which is the time when they're usually applying for cabin crew jobs. So what would you say to that?
The commonest reason for having acne is basically hormonal changes. and the age that you described, which is the late teens and the early 20s, is when the hormones have not quite settled, and therefore there might be active acne. Now, everyone's etiology for developing acne is different. There are some infectious etiologies. There are hormonal problems which can lead to acne. And there are also other problems like, your diet, etc. So if you're overweight, you will typically develop a lot of acne. If you have a lot of fried food and chocolates, you will develop a lot of acne. So on a genetic background, that is, people have a genetic predisposition to acne at certain ages, which is typically the late teens and the till the mid-20s. And if your diet is bad, you can develop acne. Now, acne, it's very difficult to prescribe any medicines online without really examining the acne. Because if there is infection, you need to take care of the infection. If there is no infection, then you may need to give certain things to reduce the oil secretion from the skin. But certain hygiene parameters are very important. So the first thing, if you have acne, please do not go and burst the acne. Because if you burst the acne, you're going to go ahead and leave yourself with an infection and you leave yourself with a scar. So it's important not to burst the acne. Second thing, you must not go ahead and self-prescribe medicines. Because going on the internet and looking at Google and self-prescribing medicines may mean that you may end up using medicines which are not good or does not suit your skin type. So therefore, it is better to go to someone like a dermatologist or a cosmetic surgeon who can analyze your skin and then decide what is the best way forwards. But in general, if you're overweight, please lose weight. And if your diet is really bad, if you're having a lot of processed food, maida, etc., you're having a lot of oily food, and you're having a lot of chocolates and sugars, please cut down on those. And if you're overweight, please come down to your normal weight. That will go ahead and please make your acne better. Saurabh, please don't use ridiculous thing I've heard in a long time. Colgate was made in order to brush your teeth. Do not go ahead and try and sell Colgate for acne to people, please. I mean, even Colgate doesn't recommend using Colgate on acne.
I think a lot of people do a lot of DIY stuff, but I think we should do a little bit more research, because you don't want to aggravate it, especially if the acne is in a stage where it's about to burst and stuff like that. Putting Colgate, I think, will only going to make it worse. But coming back to what you said, we
the most important problem, Nidhi, is in Indian skin and in people from Asia, we have pigmented skin. So which means that we have skin which is Fitzpatrick 4 to 6. Every time we develop an acne, once the acne settles, there will be a pigmented spot there. That pigmented spot will take 3 to 6 months to go. And if it develops a scar and the face becomes scarred, like one yesteryear superstar, Mr. Rajesh Khanna used to be a superstar, but used to have very acne prone and acne scarred skin. And if you develop acne scar, you will need far more expensive treatments like laser, etc. to take care of that. So therefore, please do not do home therapies and home remedies for this. घर के नुस्खे घर के लिए रखिए. Please उसको अपने चेहरे पे मत इस्तेमाल करिए. Because you're taking a big risk with some of these things. I'm not saying घर के नुस्खे don't work, but the challenge is that they might have been made for particular skin types and you could really damage your skin. So don't damage your skin. You have only one skin which has been given to you. Finite amount of skin from your forehead to your toes. Please do not go ahead and use it like you use toilet paper.
Great. Thanks for that sharing. So I guess the two major takeaways that we have here for any and everyone who has any question related to acne, definitely it depends on your skin type, from oily skin to dry skin, but a major contributor to an acne is, and correct me if I'm wrong, of course, so I just want to summarize this for everyone, is one, your diet, what you eat. Oh, I can finally see you moving. I can finally see you. Okay, so before we go down to this quiz question, I'm quickly going to
treated.
Understand, and that is why you couldn't talk to us before, because you were busy talking to the pigeon. Okay.
I was trying to drive the pigeon away and say, don't disturb us. Go ahead.
So no, I was just going to summarize this for everyone, because this is a very, very common question that a lot of people ask me. And of course, for me as well, acne sometimes is a problem. And going back to what you said, I think if I look back, I completely agree. Sometimes when I don't, when I indulge in eating a lot of fried food, when I don't have enough water, when I don't stick to the diet that I should, I do actually, or don't sleep well, I do end up developing acne. So I think that's a major contributor, just taking care of your skin inside out. And of course, I have to confess, I do a lot of DIY stuff, but of course, if I have to see a dermatologist because it's getting worse, I will do it. So I think if you were to say कि घर के नुस्खे घर पे रखो, then I think it's going to be a bit of a contradiction from people who follow me on Instagram. But I completely agree with you that because I do go and see dermatologists when I feel the need for it. So I agree that you should have the right medication and just don't do any sort of research and just put any and everything on your face. So yes.
See, I have. If you've got one acne on your face and you want to try haldi on it, your loss is going to be less. But if you have acne all over your face and you want to, haldi ka lep lagana hai face pe, then God save you. So the choice is, doctor को जाके दिखा लो. जब तक चेहरा सलामत नहीं रहेगा, तो डॉक्टर ज्यादा पैसे बनाएगा आपके चेहरे को ठीक करने के लिए. So your choice is go and take a consultation when it's easier, or take a consultation when it's harder. It's
I just want to remind you a little bit, we actually have a lot of audience that do not understand Hindi. So it would be a good idea to stick to English, because then I'll have to translate that for them. Because we have a lot of people who join us from Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and other parts of the world as well. We have someone from
Sorry guys, and considering that my Chinese and Malay is not that good at this point, I think we'll stick to the language everyone understands.
Second question, which is going to win 3 sessions of consultation with Dr. Devraj's team. So, yes.
Okay. So, someone needs to tell us quickly, if you were choosing a sunscreen, what are the 3 parameters that you will check in your sunscreen? So 3 parameters, most important parameters of using sunscreen. Okay? So, and Quizmaster's decision is final. So, therefore the Quizmaster gets to decide. 3 parameters of using sunscreen. Your time starts now.
Okay. So we have
Let's
5, 4, pH. Someone says pH, but pH. Okay, guys, you have to give us all 3. You cannot just put 1 down.
You need to give us all 3 answers, please. You can't just type one thing.
Answers.
All 3 answers,
if you're going to write 1, we wouldn't be able to take your name into consideration. And then you're giving away the answers to everyone else in the process. So don't do that. Okay. So we have someone say SPF, UV, and did you read that? SPF, waterproof.
Yeah, I read SPF, pH, and UV.
Correct. Is that
SPF,
right?
UVA, UVB.
So Sana is the first one who said
pH.
SPF, waterproof, UVA, UVB. Is that?
People are now just copying, and everyone's doing SPF, UV, pH, SPF, UV, pH. Control C, Control V type.
Oh, we
don't have the right answer yet. We don't have the right answer yet. The top
keep
3.
going. We haven't spotted the right answer. Okay. So it's definitely not SPF, UV, and pH. So you guys have to try something else.
You have to try something else now. Come on, guys. Okay, one suggestion. One trick which might help you reach the correct answer. How often do you need to apply SPF, sunscreen? So you are going to be cabin crew, you're going to be flying in a pressurized environment. How often do you need to reapply sunscreen? That's one of your answers.
Have you spotted? Skin type. Okay.
Not yet. Everyone's going SPF, UVA, UVB, UVA, UVB, UVC, UVB, UVA, UVA.
UVA and UVB.
UV.
Is there UVC as well?
So, Pooh Forever Angel said every 2 hours, but then all 3 answers need to come in, guys. All 3 answers.
Okay, so guys, what is writing?
Okay, sorry, we'll ask you another question. Maybe this was tough. We'll ask you another question. But for sunscreen, using sunscreen is the most important aspect of skincare. Now you can stop 3 hours, 2 hours, 1.5 hours, stop. Listen on. Listen on now. The sun is very, very important for us because the morning sun and the evening sun both give us vitamin D. And the sun goes ahead and gives us vitamin D, which in turn makes our bones strong. But at the same time, too much exposure to the sun can go ahead and cause skin aging and can also cause pigmentation, especially in people with Asian skin, which is Indian skin, Chinese skin, etc. You can get more pigmentation and freckles because you have pigment or melanocytes in your skin, or increased amount of the melanocytes in your skin. The first thing to remember, the first most important thing, is that not every sunscreen will suit everyone. So the most important thing is to use a good sunscreen, and a good sunscreen is typically the sunscreen that I use is Isdin Protect or Ansolar. These are the two sunscreens. There are no financial interest that I have in these two sunscreens. So you can use Isdin Protect, is a German company. You can use Ansolar, which is a German company. You can use these sunscreens. These are non-oil based sunscreens. They work well against.
Could you write that in the comments as well, so people can?
Okay.
Just write
so that's Isdin Protect and Ansolar. No financial interest, like I said. These are the two sunscreens that we use regularly. The most important rule is to try different sunscreens, because sunscreens can sometimes cause acne. The second important rule is to make sure you use sunscreen even when indoors. People think we should use sun, but radiation, which is ultraviolet A, B, and C, can enter through the window as well. So going ahead and protecting your sun from the sun rays is important. Typically, I would use a sunscreen with a with a SPF protection or a sun protection factor of at least 30. But most people recommend at least 50. And then as cabin crew, you should use the sunscreen on your face and typically reapply it at least every 2 to 3 hours. Especially if you're sweating. I mean, if you're waiting at an airport, or if you have a layover, or you're stopping in between flights, you're sweating, the sweat can wash away some of the sunscreen even though it is waterproof, and therefore going ahead and reapplying it is very, very important. Now, if you're applying sunscreen and you're applying makeup as well, then the key is to use the sunscreen first.
It's not possible for cabin crew to keep applying it 2 to 3 hours because, The key is to use the sunscreen first, then dab away the extra sunscreen or whatever is oily with a tissue or something, and then apply your matte makeup on top of it. By applying a matte makeup on top of the sunscreen, you'll prevent the face from glistening, which can happen even with the best sunscreens. But the two sunscreens that I have mentioned, which is Isdin Protect and Ansolar, typically have very low value of oiliness, and therefore they are non-comedogenic. They don't create pimples, and they can be used regularly very, very safely. Okay. Yeah, I think that was one of the main concerns that I had, because especially for female cabin crew, they can't really apply sunscreen every 2 to 3 hours when they're in the job. But of course, having said that, I clearly remember even if I had a night flight, I would actually apply sunscreen, regardless of whether it's day or night, before I would put on my makeup. So,
Mr. Dota, you don't need to go to the beach to use the sunscreen. You have to use the sunscreen if you want good skin complexion, even skin complexion. Then it is important to use the sunscreen even when indoors. That is what I started by. So sunscreen is basic sun protection, which needs to happen unless you're planning to live in a cave for the next 6 months.
Great. So thanks for answering that. Let's go back to answering a simpler question so that people can answer and win that free consultation. So would you want to come up with another question before we go ahead?
Ask me some of the questions regarding stretch marks. Someone was asking about eyebrow scars.
Actually, scars is the next thing that I wanted to touch base on. So maybe I can ask you that question. So from whatever questions that I had gotten, and I think one of the major reasons why a lot of people also get rejected in their cabin crew interviews is because they have scars in certain parts of their body. Like a lot of people have scars from acne or pimple. A lot of people have chickenpox scars on their face. A lot of people would have scars from accidents. Then a lot of people have keloid. I don't know how to pronounce that. Keloid scars. So a lot of people have mentioned that to me. A lot of people have those kind of scars. And because they are at the visible part of the body, because for airlines in particular, as long as you wear the uniform and if the scar gets hidden, it's okay. But if it's in the visible part of the body, that is where the cause of the concern is. For most airlines, but some airlines are stricter, and they're not so okay with even if there is a scar on other parts of the body. So that's one, and tattoos was another thing, but I think we can take it up separately, so we can just focus on scars first. And then
scars that we see on the face, the most typical scars that we see on the face are the acne scars. So once you develop acne, what happens is that the acne, if you have not taken care of it, typically heals with a lot of scarring. And the scarring of the acne leaves these depressions on the face. And these depressions on the face typically have been very difficult to treat. So we've been doing research on this for the last 6 years now. And we have just now published a protocol on how to treat acne scars in Asian skin. And what we do is we basically utilize a process called subcision. So what we do is it's a procedure in which we use a needle below the scar. And by moving the needle from side to side below the scar, you break the attachment of the scar to the underlying tissue. And then you use fillers. Fillers are natural substances which are injections. They are made up of this product called hyaluronic acid. And in that sense, hyaluronic acid is normally present in your skin as well. So you inject the fillers after the subcision and then do laser. So someone was asking out here if laser helps scars. The answer is if the scars are very deep, just laser will not help. So it's like asking, suppose you have a table and on a table you have a lot of marks. Will just using sandpaper solve the problem? The answer is no. If the marks are so many that you need to actually change the wood, then there's no use in doing the sandpapering. Similarly, if the scars are so many and so deep, just doing laser won't solve the problem. So it has to be a combined laser in order to treat the acne scars. And the good news for everyone out here is we have seen that acne scars can be reduced by about 80% or more. So it can be reduced to the level where after this you can just do a little bit of makeup or foundation, etc., and that can hide your scars completely. So that helps a lot. The second thing that we see a lot is injury scars.
So before we go down to the injury scars, I just wanted to quickly ask you a question here. What expect in this kind of thing? And is it only for people who have really deep-rooted scars and a lot of them, or is it okay, or it can be done for people who have just few scars, maybe 1 or 2 scars? Can it be done for those people as well?
First thing is that if you have deep scars, then you need a laser which can go deep. There's no point in going ahead and using a laser which can go superficial. All lasers are not the same. Just like all cruises are not Tom Cruise because it goes deep right up till the basement membrane and can help in removing scars. So when people say I got laser, remember is that not all guns work the same way. You have to use the right gun and you have to use it by someone who has enough expertise in it.
Okay. I think that's one of the questions that are being asked here, that a couple of them did the lasers, but they didn't see the results. So I guess that answers their question. The other question that we had was...
See, just like cabin crew can be okay, good and great. Similarly, doctors too can be okay, good and great, and same for lasers as well.
Sure. The question that I had was, what kind of downtime can we expect when we do a session like this? Then how many sessions do we have to go for on an average?
Typically, it depends upon the scar, but typically you're looking at about 4 to 8 intervals. So the entire treatment can take almost 8 to 9 months. And because the laser is deep, post the laser session, there will be some redness and some bruising. You should expect redness and bruising for at least 4 to 5 days after the session.
Okay. All right. So I think that information is important, especially for people who are cabin crew. So they would want to do something like that when they're not flying, because they will have to go back to putting on makeup, and I think that wouldn't be the best thing to do. Great. So let's.
You can't after carbon dioxide laser. You cannot fly for at least 4 to 5 days because the scab. There will be scabs actually of the laser. Be revealed. It will take 4 to 5 days. It's not recommended to use makeup and it will be very obvious, so you cannot fly at that point.
All right. Great. Thank you for sharing. So I believe some of the questions should have been answered here, especially to do with scars and what kind of treatments can you be looking at. Let's get on with your next question, which you're supposed to ask them, and please give them an easy question this time so that they can answer.
So, this is the simplest question, right? So there are 2 parts to this question. Are all tattoos the same? Yes or no? Don't answer yet. Here are 2 questions. are all tattoos the same? All tattoos, all inks, are they the same in terms of removal? Yes or no? That is the first question. And the second question is, if no, then which is a more difficult ink to remove in your tattoo? Your time starts now.
I have to Google this as well because I don't know myself. Okay, so everyone, this question has two answers, so please give two answers.
You need to answer. Tattoo inks the same in terms of removal, which means that if you went ahead and did a tattoo, is a particular type of ink more difficult to remove? Should you want the tattoo removed at some point? And if the answer to that is yes, some tattoos are more difficult than others, then the next question is, which tattoo ink is more difficult to remove than...
Okay, so street one is difficult. I saw that one. I don't know what that means actually. No is the answer to the first by Rahul Patel, and it says street one is difficult. Is there something called a street tattoo? I don't know what that means.
He probably means one that colored ink doesn't matter, right? Just saying colored ink is not important. Which color? Everyone is talking about colored ink. Which color?
Okay, you've got to stop asking such difficult questions. Even I don't know the answer to these questions. Okay, someone said no dark color, so that's not the answer, I suppose. Okay, someone said red, orange, yellow, and white ink. Red.
We'll take Payal Singh. So Payal, congratulations. You have won a free consultation. We request Payal to go ahead and leave a direct message to Miss Nidhi, or on her post, go ahead and give your details so that we can take you up.
I think I'll take
the thing to remember,
yeah,
not all tattoos are the same in terms of difficulty of removal. And black tattoo is actually the easiest to remove. But the other colored tattoos, which is the red, blue, orange, yellow, white, these are extremely difficult to remove. Even if you use the best lasers, you might have a ghost shadow remaining, which is called ghosting. And therefore, these are tattoos that you should do with some respect. Remember, if you do it on the visible part of your hands or on the visible parts of your body, removing it is really, really hard and you might have to struggle post that.
Okay, great. And again, going back to the same question, if someone has to remove a tattoo, say for example, if it's a black tattoo, how long does it take? And if it's a green, orange, blue, white tattoo, how long does it take?
It's a different type of tattoo it's a different type of laser that we use to remove the tattoo. Okay. It's called a double frequency Nd:YAG laser. And Nd:YAG laser is used in order to remove the tattoo.
Okay.
And you would typically need about 8 to 10 sessions. Each session is done at about 2 to 3 weekly intervals.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, it's cheaper to get a tattoo and much more expensive to remove a tattoo. So remember that before you get the tattoo. So I said it's much easier to get a tattoo than to remove a tattoo. And it's much more expensive to remove a tattoo. So therefore, before you get a tattoo, please go ahead and pay attention to that.
Okay, great. So yeah, I mean, you guys can always get in touch with Dr. Devraj Shom because they have different lasers option available, I suppose, for the kind of tattoos that you have. Because especially if you have a tattoo on a visible part of your body, and if you're applying for airlines like Qatar Airways, and especially Gulf Airlines in particular, they're quite strict about it. If it can be hidden, that's okay. But if it's not hidden, then they will actually not select you. And the same goes for most Asian airlines as well. And it's all about the image at the end of the day. I mean, they would want you to project a certain image, which resonates with the image of the airline. And having a tattoo. So a lot of people ask me this question, why wouldn't an airline hire me if I have a tattoo? It's because it doesn't resonate with the image. You know, if you have a tattoo of your girlfriend, or if you have a tattoo of your dog or your cat, then obviously it doesn't resonate with the image of the airline. And that's one of the reasons why they wouldn't actually allow you to have the tattoo and be part of the airline. So that's one thing to look out for. I was thinking, why don't we take one of the questions
on injury scars?
Why don't we take a question from this only? So I guess, yeah, let's go ahead with the injury scar, if that's what you want to talk about, because I think a lot of people have that. Yes.
Injury scars are similar. Sometimes you need, if it's a depressed scar, so scars can be either elevated, in which case they are called hypertrophic or keloid scars.
Okay.
or they can be depressed, which means that they are like a valley, they have gone inside. So if it's a depressed scar, most likely it will need a scar revision surgery first. Just doing the laser won't do the job. So most cut marks which have not been sutured heal with a depressed scar. They will need the scar and suture it well, and then you can use laser after that. So that is basically what is used.
Okay. Just out of curiosity, what about birthmarks? Because I mean, as long as I know that a lot of airlines do not have any issues if you have a birthmark, but for some people the birthmark can be really, really prominent, and that can be a concern. Could you address that? Because I have a few questions on birthmark as well.
Birthmarks again depends. If it's a pigmented birthmark, you can use a pigment laser. If it's a vascular birthmark, you can use different lasers which can go ahead and remove the vascular anomaly as well.
Okay.
But it depends. There are certain birthmarks like port wine stains, etc., which involve almost half of the face. There's not much that can be done about them. So different strokes for different folks. It depends on the type of the birthmark, and depending on the type of the birthmarks, you could.
In general, if somebody wants to, upkeep their skin and want to have a good flawless skin, not have a lot of open pores and things like that, is this something that you would recommend from your experience and expertise that a lot of your clients do to take care of themselves?
The first thing to have good skin is to be born to parents who have good skin. So genetics plays a very important role.
Okay.
Try and choose your parents. Try and choose your parents well. That helps. And once you've gone ahead and good genetics, then you can actually together try and drink about 250 ml at a time. So if you're drinking 2.5 liters of water, you should be drinking it 250 ml 10 times a day or so. Every 1.5 hours, drink a little bit of water. So stay hydrated, because especially when you're flying in a pressurized environment, there's a lot of evaporation and your skin may become very dry. That's one. Second, as cabin crew, you will probably be using makeup. Please ensure that you don't go to sleep with makeup, because that will typically cause blockage of the pores and create problems. Third, go ahead and ensure that you have a lot of fresh food, that is non-processed food. And fifth, I know that you all have busy lives, but if you all can exercise 30 minutes at least 4 times a day, aerobic exercise has been known to release the toxins by going ahead and causing sweating, and that can make it much better. Hormonal acne, Ms. Kanchan, we've already spoken about.
So one of the questions which ended up coming in here was Rahul Patel, who said, "Sir, what are the side effects of medicines for acne and scars in near future?" Acne is a very difficult to solve problem. Acne has a multifactorial etiology, which means that it occurs because of various reasons. Hormones or improper hormones are a very important reason for developing acne, and therefore acne tend to occur mostly in your late teens or early 20s till your mid 20s or so. If you're developing acne, I don't think there's any solution. You'll have to see the doctor. But nonetheless, the few things which work in most types of acne is A, if you're overweight, please try and reduce your weight, because if you're overweight, it tends to increase the chances of polycystic ovarian syndrome, especially in women, and that in turn can lead to the acne going ahead and becoming worse. Exercising regularly also helps. If you exercise regularly, aerobic exercise has been shown to open the pores, and the sweat can also remove all the toxins which are required. And going ahead and making sure that you don't burst your pimples is also very, very important, because if you burst your pimples, they will leave you with poor acne scars, which in turn will look worse. So Rahul, the answer to your question is there's no point in telling you about the side effects. Most medicines have side effects. The challenge is to use them in such a way that the side effects are minimized and you get the best possible effects from the same. Nidhi, in relation to your question, how to deal with open pores. Open pores are an extremely difficult to treat problem. Open pores tend to occur on the skin because we have a breakdown of the collagen in the skin. Actually, open pores are a way of the skin to tell you that basically people are going ahead and aging, that your skin is aging. And if your skin is going ahead and aging, then to take care of the skin becomes even more important. It's the disorientation in the lattice framework of the collagen fibrils within the skin which makes the skin develop open pores. Open pores are a difficult to solve problem. The best way to prevent them is to use sunscreen regularly, to take care of your skin by toning, moisturizing, and using sunscreen even when indoors, so that it does not go ahead and develop these open pores. Once the open pores have come in, then one of the lasers that we have, which is called the carbon dioxide laser, they can do a very good job because they can go deep and produce collagen within the skin itself, and by virtue of producing collagen, they can make the skin pores appear much better over a period of time. So prevention is the best, but you can also go ahead and make sure that you take care of that. Is laser treatment for hair removal safe? Anjali, hi. Laser treatment for hair removal is extremely safe, not only for cabin crew but for others as well. And it's very, very simple and easy nowadays. I think waxing is so yesteryear. It is possible to do either the Nd:YAG laser or the diode laser, and you can actually go ahead and remove the laser so easy, remove hair so easily. Reduction of hair can occur by more than 90% in most patients. You will require 8 to 10 sessions, but if you can go ahead and take care of the hair on your body permanently, why would you want to do any waxing? Now, the next question comes in from Umashesh Prarthi and Dr. Sandeep Jeste. How, Dr. Sandeep? How are you? So, their question is treatment for acne scars. Acne scars has been a difficult to solve problem for a long period of time. But it gives me great pleasure to let you know that over the last 6 years, the aesthetic clinics has worked very deeply in research in acne scars. And we find that a combination protocol of 3 things, subcision, fillers, and carbon dioxide laser multiple sessions can go ahead and make the skin appear much, much better and can reduce the acne scars by more than 80%. This paper is getting published in a top American journal as we speak. And we might not be able to remove acne scars completely in many patients, but we can reduce it to a very significant degree in majority of our patients, Dr. Sandeep. What are the best solutions for dark circles? That's Nidhi now. Dark circles are a big problem. One of the major reasons we are having so much dark circles is because we are exposed so much to these devices. These devices go ahead and release, the LEDs release light, which exacerbate and excite the melanocytes, leading to further pigmentation. Plus, many of us are not sleeping regularly. Many of us don't go ahead and have proper hydration. We do not have proper sleep. That leads to worsening of the dark circles. Depending on the dark circles and why it's happening, if it is because of loss of volume of the under eye area, we can actually inject fillers. Fillers are injections which are made up of hyaluronic acid, which is the same constituent of your skin as your skin. And hyaluronic acid is extremely safe. It is very, very, very safe for you to actually go ahead and use the hyaluronic acid fillers. You will see a lot of actors and actresses who are 65 and 70 looking like they are 30, and many celebrities who are looking like 30 throughout their lives. They will make you believe it's due to the yoga. It may not be because of the yoga, it may be because of the fillers as well. So that is the important thing to remember. Nidhi, thanks for saying that to Anjali. Nidhi is saying that she's done laser for hair removal. It has reduced her hair growth and is absolutely safe. In fact, you can remove the hair almost completely now. It's almost a non-painful procedure. Diode laser is slightly painful, but the Nd:YAG laser is almost non-painful and it can be used wonderfully to go ahead and remove the hair. Rahul, thanks for your question. We have branches in Mumbai and we are also there, not all the time, but we are there on a rotational basis in Kolkata, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Ahmedabad, and New Delhi. And in these cities, we are there once every alternate week. So you will be able to find us at any of these cities after the lockdown. You can write down to us and we can take care of that from there. Umashish wants to ask about treatment for age-related pigmentation. Thanks for your question. Pigmentation at any age is a big problem. Especially in women, pigmentation mainly occurs because of hormonal problems. So melasma is a very, very important cause of pigmentation. If there are hormonal issues, there will be pigmentation. So most women tend to develop pigmentation, especially after childbirth, because that's when the pigments change, and that's what causes pigmentation, especially in the cheek and the malar areas. And treatment of that is very, very difficult, but we do use a combination of skin creams and pigment removal laser to make that pigmentation much, much better. Nidhi, any other questions that you wanted to take? So I just wanted to let everyone know, whoever's on this particular call, I just wanted you to know that we are going ahead and making this a routine thing. We will be doing this once every couple of weeks in order to try and give you all more information. And Nidhi and I will also be organizing online classes for the cabin crew to allow them to become a little bit better at understanding their own problems and being more aesthetic. So Nidhi, we deal with hair fall related issues all the time, and hair fall related issues can be treated through multiple mechanisms, which can be used at the counter or available in the pharmacy. We also have our own patented treatment called the QR678. The QR678 has a US patent, has an Indian patent, and has Indian FDA approval. And this is now being utilized in multiple countries very safely. The QR678 is a therapy which involves small mesotherapy injections to be given in the scalp wherever there is lack of hair. And this works really well for hair fall related issues, both in men as well as women. One of my favorites, Dr. Madhav Rao, is here, a very, very renowned vitreoretinal surgeon from Dubai. Hi Madhav, good to see you. Hi Abhijit, good to see you as well. So Zuri Zarma wants to know the treatment for loose skin after 40. Zuri, thanks for asking the question. We are at an exciting time in human history. The exciting time in human history is such that we can all choose to look 30 all our lives. Whether you want to look 30 or you want to look your age, which might be anything more than 30, is your choice completely. But if you want to look 30 all your life, there are lots of non-surgical treatments. You should Google Althera. The Aesthetic Clinics is one of the only centers to have Althera in India. We also use a lot of other non-surgical techniques to tighten the skin up. So you can look young all your age. It's possible. And you can decide when you want to look young and how young you want to look, and we can take care of that. Anjali Sujit wants to know how to get rid of darkness around the neck. Anjali, we've spoken about darkness and pigmentation related issues. Pigmentation can be hormone related, and pigmentation can also have multiple other causative etiologies. Depending on the causative etiologies, we can go ahead and treat pigmentation through a combination of skin creams and through a combination of lasers, etc., which can be utilized to remove the pigmentation. Ms. Parveen wants to know how will you control hair fall. Now it depends on the reason hair fall is occurring. Up to 100 hair every day may be normal for it to fall. But if you have too much hair fall, or if you are getting a thinning of the scalp, there are lots of medicines which can help you. But it's difficult to really comment on it unless we examine. Like I said, we also have our own hair fall treatment, which is patented treatment, which can go ahead and treat it, which is called the QR678. Nidhi wants to know how are stretch marks different from normal scars. Stretch marks are a breaking of the skin collagen. So if we gain weight and then lose it, tends to stretch suddenly, and this stretching of the collagen breakage and the breakage of the collagen leads to these white marks that develop on the skin. Stretch marks are extremely difficult to treat, Nidhi, but nonetheless you can make it better with carbon dioxide laser. So carbon dioxide laser is a long wave laser which goes deep and produces collagen on the face, and by producing collagen on the face or on the other parts of the body, the stretch marks can be made much better, but it's almost impossible to remove the stretch marks completely. Juhi wants to know, sir, I have ovary cyst. For that reason I'm becoming dark, and I'm only 26 but my skin looks very saggy. Juhi, I'm very sorry to hear that. Obviously if there are hormonal problems, then things will become worse with your skin and your hair. If hormones are not okay, if the internal milieu is not fine, then externally it's very difficult to really keep the skin well. So we'll have to examine you and suggest ways to control it, but we might also need hormonal treatments in order to make sure that harm your skin in a bad manner and to take care of it. Nidhi wants to know, are acne back in the neck different from the one from the face, and how to deal with it? Well, no, Nidhi, acne on the back and the neck are almost the same etiology. Of course, there are certain specific differences which are very technical to discuss here, but more or less it's the same things. Going ahead and making sure that you exercise regularly, stay hydrated, solve any hormonal problems, and most important, do not prick or press the pustules, because that will lead to scarring and which might be very difficult to treat. Rahul wants to know that he was hurt by a sharp nail and he has an injury scar. Depending on the scar, Rahul, we can either go ahead and do a laser, or we can also go ahead and do other treatments which can be used for removing the scars, which can be surgery as well. So we'll have to see and then we'll take it. Juhi, very difficult to really talk about your ovarian cyst on a WhatsApp call or on Facebook Live. These Facebook Live sessions are made for very specific, very general queries. I suggest that you come in and get yourself examined by one of us, and then we might be able to better talk about medicines, etc. Don't want to commit myself on a call without examining you. Nidhi wants to know that she was once prescribed hormonal pills for acne. Would it have any side effects? The quick answer to that is yes, maybe. But then sometimes you might have to balance the benefits and the side effects. Anytime you give anyone a medicine, you have to balance the positives and the negatives and then decide what needs to happen and then take a call. So the answer may be different for different people and the answer may be different for different conditions as well. Happy to take any more questions. We are running into the last segment of this, to be specific. So while healthy diet is important and healthy diet can go ahead and take care of skin problems to a large extent, there will be people who will still have acne and acne scars, and because it is genetic as well, and therefore utilizing medicines is very, very important. Nidhi wants to know how to deal with keloids and scars. Keloids are the hypertrophic scars which can also cause a lot of itching. Keloids, people used to believe earlier that keloids cannot be treated at all, but that's not true. You can actually treat keloids as well. We use either a combination of steroid injections into the keloid or a combination of steroid injections and laser and silicone sheets in order to make the keloids better, and they can be reduced. In certain cases, we also give radiation or radiotherapy to the keloids and then do a surgery as well. So there are multiple ways of treating it, and technology is evolving all the time, so it's better to make it and it's possible to make it better. Anjali wants to know what are the reasons for blackheads. The reasons for blackheads are basically an obstruction to the pores and also a number of other reasons. Cleaning your skin regularly and going ahead and removing the blackheads with either some physical mechanisms or even certain other mechanisms which can sort of remove the pores, remove the blackheads through a blackhead strips, etc. can be a good way of doing it. But you should be careful about using blackhead strips regularly, because that can actually go ahead and make the pores wider, leading to more blackheads in the future. There is someone from Bangladesh. Namaskar, kemon achen? So I can speak your language as well. So good to see you as well. Rahul says, I'm consuming Reston 20. Do you recommend the same medicine to your patients also? Rahul, I've already answered that question. You cannot go ahead and give the same medicine to everyone. I know that everyone wants to get treatment on the internet because they don't want to pay doctors. You can come in for free treatment if you want. But the fact of the matter is, unless we examine you, taking some of these medicines can be we can't just go ahead and say, yeah, take Reston 20 or whatever on a call. That is extremely silly. Sorry, we can't do that. Now, Aditya wants to know the treatment for dandruff. Treatment for dandruff depends on the reason for the dandruff. The first thing that I want to tell everyone is, if you have dandruff, please stop oiling your hair. The more you oil your hair, the more you will get dandruff or seborrheic dermatitis in your scalp. See, normally also we have normal oil on our skin. The same skin which is there on your face is also continuing above on your scalp. So from that perspective, if we don't use oil on our face, why do we need to use oil on our scalp? So reduce that, and using a good anti-dandruff shampoo, we prescribe something like a Candid TV shampoo, and using that 3 times a week, applying it onto your scalp, keeping it for 5 minutes, and then washing it under running water will go a long way in reducing your dandruff. Nidhi wants to know, can vitamin E help with scar reduction and dark circles? Answer is yes, it will make it slightly better, but the slight may be hardly 10 to 20%. And you will need to do other things. Like I explained, dark circles have multiple etiologies, and therefore taking care of the dark circles is very, very important. But post-surgery scars, we do make it better with vitamin E, and it can become better. Anjali wants to know, keloids can have recurrence rate. Yes, keloids can have recurrence rate, but keloids are rare in the Indian population as compared to populations like the African population, and therefore in Indians more common is hypertrophic scars, and they don't tend to recur normally. Madhurima, one of my earlier patients, is here. Hi, good to see you, and hope you're doing well in the UK. So Nidhi wants to know how to avoid scarring from burns. It's a difficult one, Nidhi, how to avoid scarring from burns, but taking care of the initial burn by going ahead and using emollients, etc., may be a good thing to do. And you can remove the support the skin with petroleum jelly, lactocalamine, and use mild steroids as well. But different scars, depending on the depth of burning, we might have to treat differently before we can go ahead and prescribe anything. তীর্থাঙ্কর, অনেক অনেক ধন্যবাদ, আপনি ক্লিনিকের কথা কিছু জিজ্ঞেস করছেন, কিন্তু আই এম সরি টু সে আই ডোন্ট নো হাউ টু রিড বাংলা। সো কলকাতাতে কোথায় ক্লিনিক ওটাই আমি বুঝলাম বোধহয়, যেমন খুব ভালোভাবে বুঝতে পারছি না, কিন্তু কলকাতাতে আমাদের ক্লিনিক হলো গিয়ে সল্ট লেকে সেক্টর 3-তে। ইউ ক্যান রাইট ইন টু আস এট দি aestheticclinic.com, আর আপনাকে আমরা জানাতে পারি কোথায় এসে আপনার চিকিৎসা আপনি করাতে পারেন। Rahul wants to know, sir, what's the tattoo removal procedure? Rahul, there are multiple ways of removing tattoos. We use lasers to remove the tattoo, but like I have said in my Instagram live session, the one thing to remember is do not go ahead and do a tattoo in the first place. Preventing the tattoo is the best way to making sure that the tattoo is not difficult to remove. It's much easier to put in a tattoo and much more harder to remove it, and certain tattoo inks like yellow ink, orange ink, golden colored ink, all of these are extremely difficult to remove and therefore should be used with great care. Hi Aparna, so good of you to join us. Aparna is a very well-known oculoplastic surgeon in Chennai, and she's also a great artist. So nice of you to join us. Madhurima, yes, your hand is looking so much better. Thank you so much. We remember that you were very, very worried post the surgery. Thanks for your patience, and good that your hand is now looking much better. The scars have healed well. It does become dry now. It does take some time post the surgery, maybe even a couple of years, because the nerves sometimes get damaged during the surgery, and that neuropathic dryness can take approximately a couple of years to go away. Please use a good hand moisturizer. You can use any brand like a Nivea, etc., and that should be fine. Thanks Aditya for thanking me. And Nidhi, what products are recommended for dry and oily skin? That's like a topic, Nidhi, that I can speak for the next couple of hours. Obviously every one of us has dry skin, oily skin, or combination skin, and very, very difficult to really talk about it. But in general, you will go ahead and know that it's better in some ways to have slightly oily skin than have dry skin. Dry skin tends to age very, very quickly, and using moisturizing for dry skin is very, very important. But oily skin tends to age less, and so if you have oily skin, I say that you might have pimples, but you'll have less wrinkles as you age. Aarti wants to know, hi Aarti, thank you for joining us. Aarti is a very well-known celebrity beauty queen, and she's also a model, and she's one of my friends on Facebook. Thank you Aarti for joining us. Aarti wants to know some anti-pimple face serum for regular use, as she's getting a lot of pimples on her face. One of the reasons, Aarti, may be out, and also because you're not going out enough, maybe there are some hormonal issues, etc., or some hormonal imbalance. So I would say don't worry too much about it. You can just use a mild face wash, like a benzoyl peroxide added face wash, which can be used twice a day in order to make the face appear, the oiliness go away. But I would not suggest any long-term serum to be used on your face, since it is something which is happening only now at this moment in time. Just clean your face, get about 20 to 25 minutes of aerobic exercise, stop eating sweets and chocolates, and you should be much better, Aarti. You're a very pretty looking person, and I don't see the reason to put you on too many medicines. Hope that helps. Ms. Shabnam Syed wants to know, can you tell for puffy eyes remedy? Now, puffy eyes can be due to multiple reasons. If you mean the under eye fat bags which are there are multiple ways of treating these. In fact, I have a video on my YouTube channel, Ms. Shabnam. You can go to youtube.com/Dr. Debraj Shom. There's a video for puffy eyes. You can actually see that and see all the treatments, and you would understand that. Nidhi wants to know sunscreen for different skin types. My favorite sunscreens are Isdin Photoprotector and Ansolar, and they can be used for any skin type. You should be fine using it for every skin type. Okay guys, so it has been a great 43-minute session. We've had almost 100 people join us throughout this session. Nidhi and I will be doing this much more regularly, and I will be asking 2 questions now, and hopefully some of you who were not there, please, if you were there for the Instagram live session, do not go ahead and answer these questions. But if others want to answer these questions, you can. And we'll be giving away 2 free consultations because of you answering these questions properly. So my first question, and I'm not going to take anyone, please be honest. Please do not go ahead and take the answer if you've already been part of the Insta session, which was there 1 hour before. So first question coming up. The biggest the biggest organ of the human body, or the largest organ of the human body is, you can answer that in 1 word below, which is the largest organ of the human body, and it'll be, we are counting 5 now. 5, 4, first one to answer gets a free consult. 3, 2, 1, 0. Come on people, largest organ of the human body. Someone can answer. There are some doctors also who are there on the line. Rahul, I'll tell you about the book. Let's ask this question first. Skin. Shabnam is right. Shabnam, skin is the largest organ of the human body. You can drop us a DM, a direct message on our page after this, and we will give you a free consult coupon. You can come into any of our centers in Mumbai, Hyderabad, Kolkata, Delhi, Bangalore to consult us, and we will be happy to take care of you. Shabnam, thank you so much for your answer. Now, the next question is are all tattoos the same when it comes to removal? Meaning, are some tattoos harder to remove than other tattoos? And if certain tattoos are harder to remove, which colors are the hardest to remove? Please tell us that. So again, your time starts now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Anyone? Which tattoo colors are the hardest to remove? That answer is already given, Zuri. Skin was the answer. White. No, Madhurima, sorry, it's not white. Which tattoo color is the hardest to remove? Aarti, is not liver, it's skin. Shabnam says yellow, but Shabnam, you've already won a free consultation. Black is not correct. Red, yellow and orange. Madhurima, you already answered once. Sorry, we can't take that. Sorry, we've run out of time. So, not all tattoos are the same, like I said. Red, yellow, orange and white are the most difficult tattoos to remove. Please pay attention to our Facebook pages. We'll be giving you more information over the next couple of weeks, and we'll be doing this Facebook live sessions much more regularly. Thank you all for attending. Thank you, Nidhi, for participating. Please follow Nidhi if anyone wants to be a cabin crew, a well-known cabin crew coach, and she coaches people on how to become better at becoming cabin crew and also get selected for the interviews, etc.
Thank you for sharing all your insights. I think you gave us a lot of information, which you don't usually necessarily get from people when you go for consultation, and I hope we can do more of these. We want to touch base on like more topics in particular, but today was a broader topic that we wanted to cover. I think we're trying to come up with a series where we could just focus on hair, we could just focus on facial skin, we could just focus on scars and things like that. So that is what we're looking forward to do in future. But in the meantime, if you guys still haven't followed Dr. Debraj Shom, he has a Facebook page, and do follow him on Instagram as well. He's been sharing a lot of information recently. And the best thing that we wanted to announce actually was, because all of you actually made an effort and took some time out to ask questions, get information from us on this live. What we want to do for you is we want to give you discounts. So if you want to get consultation from Dr. Debraj Shom and get treatments, if you are following my channel, you will be eligible for discounts. I'll put that post up later. So if you still haven't followed me, go ahead and do that. And I will put up a code that you guys can use when you see him or make a consultation call with him the next time. And you will be eligible for discounts.